All right, so we got an update on Demar Hamlin this morning from a guy named Coley Harvey, who is talking to someone and quoting someone who directly represents Demar Hamlin. Per Jordan, who is Demar's representative and Demar's family, doctors overnight got promising readings that they had been hoping to receive by this morning. Jordan couldn't go into specifics on what they were, but it appears progress is made. That is great. I mean, obviously, it's not what we want right now. We want Demar Hamlin to be up walking and talking and back to normal. I don't care if he plays football again, that's not important, but we want to see him, walking out of the hospital. However, progress towards that goal is 10 times better than where we were 2 days ago. Keep praying, everybody, but I think that things are trending in the good direction. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Happy Wednesday and happy Week 18 NFL predictions. That seems really weird to say because we've never said that before. We are gonna obviously carry on here with videos and make them happen as, time goes here, but I do want to apologize quickly if, my tempo seems off, if I don't seem like I'm as, upbeat as usual. I feel like that's kind of a given for a lot of people right now. But before we get into the videos, I'm gonna run through my sponsors and then we'll be on our way. So one, head over to gfuel.com, use code WyattzWorld, save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. And two, if you're 18 years or older, head over to PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where code WyattzWorld will match up to $100 of your first deposit. Always play responsibly, and let's get into my predictions. All right, so starting off with Saturday. Yeah, it's kind of weird this week. We just have games on Saturday and Sunday. So the first of two games on Saturday is Kansas City at Vegas. I'm going to take Kansas City to win this game 31-28. Why not make it a shootout? Why not make it a little weird? Vegas can battle. We saw it last week, but Kansas City's a team that time after time after time, majority of the time I should say, they overcome the odds. This situation is crucial. They're trying to hang on to that number 1 seed with dear life. I think we're going to have a really good game, but Kansas City ain't gonna slip in the end. All right, and moving on to the second Saturday game, it is going to be the game of the week if you're asking me, the Titans at the Jags for the AFC South and a playoff spot. Jags are going to win this game 27-20. They're the better team. They've been playing better football. They are set up for success and the world wants them in the playoffs. Tennessee, I'm sorry, and I think I said this about you guys last year, and I think I said it about you the year before, and possibly the year before, and possibly 5 years before that. I don't mean to offend you, and I know I'm going to, but nobody cares about you guys. Like, it's so weird, but nobody cares. Like, it's just, the Titans are just such a gray area in the NFL. Like, you're a team that's mascot is literally your running back, and it's awesome because he is a once-in-a-lifetime superstar. But aside from that, man, there's just nothing there. All right, now moving on to Sunday, we got the first game. It is Baltimore at Cincinnati. And actually, I'm sorry, it probably isn't the first game. It says to be determined on my schedule, so I don't know when it is. Either way, I got the Bengals winning this game 24-10. For one, Cincinnati's a top 4 team. And for two, I think Lamar Jackson is still out, and that's just trouble. That's double trouble for Baltimore. I know, I could just be being way too narrow-minded here, but if you're asking me, this one falls very simple. Without Lamar Jackson, I don't think the Ravens have a chance. Now, obviously, we didn't get to see Cincinnati play much in the Bills game. That game is still pending, but that first drive, they didn't look bad. The 7 games before this, when they haven't lost, they haven't looked bad. This team gets stopped by Tyler Huntley, who I don't think is terrible, by the way, but if they get stopped by him in the offense that the Ravens have been producing the last 3 weeks, I would be speechless. All right, moving on to the next game. It is Tampa Bay at Atlanta, and I got the Bucs winning 28-14. Look, if Tampa Bay does what they did last week, they might throw up 40 points, but the only concern I have about this game against Tampa Bay is that it's in Atlanta. Falcons just statistically play way better there. That's why I'm giving them 14 points, and that's why I'm thinking their defense will show up at least once or twice. But other than the mere fact that it's at home, I have no concerns for Tampa. I have no concerns for Tom. It is Tom versus the Falcons. I think hell will freeze over before Tom drops to them. All right, moving on to the next game. It is New England at Buffalo. Buffalo wins 21-13. For one, it's in Buffalo against New England, who, like I've stated the last 6 times we've played them, unless, we're incapable of throwing, we're going to kick their ass. And for two, if you think the Bills are going to go home after what just happened and lose to the Patriots in the last game of the season, you're one of the most delusional people I've ever seen in my entire life. Do I believe in fate? Not really, honestly. But there are situations like this where teams are going to come out and absolutely obliterate their opponents, and I would be willing willing to bet. Whether the score shows it or not, 21-13, I know it's not that big of a deficit. The Bills are going to put the Patriots down, and they're going to put them down for the season. If you're a Buffalo fan, I can guarantee this is going to be one of the most intense games we've ever watched in our lives. All right, moving on to the next game. It is Minnesota at Chicago, and I have a horrible, horrible, horrible feeling about this game. For one, have you ever seen the Vikings play in Chicago? It's not good. For two, after the loss that the Vikings just took, if they drop to the Bears this week and head into the playoffs, all momentum is gone. It's killed. O'Connell, it is up to you to take the slap in the face from Green Bay and use that as motivation to walk into Chicago and kick their ass. Looking at that Bears team, it shouldn't take a lot. But you're the Vikings. You're the most unpredictable team I have ever laid my eyes upon. On paper, if Jared Goff is able to cook the Bears secondary, then so can Kirk Cousins. On paper, if Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift can cook the Bears defense, then so can Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison. I'm trying to find strings to make me comfortable with picking Minnesota to win, because as you can tell, I'm not. I really am not. I'll go Vikings 28-27. All right, next game we've got is Houston at Indy. Pass. Next up, we got Jets at Miami. I'm actually going to take the Dolphins to win and close out here, 23-10. Not sure what all needs to be right for them to make the playoffs, but this will obviously increase their chances because I don't think New York can score enough to win this game. Look, the Dolphins, no matter what, you can expect them to put up at least 14 points a week. Obviously, here I have them at more than that, but I'm just saying, at bare minimum, like, they're going to score 2 touchdowns. The Jets, in the last 2 weeks, they've scored a total of 9 points. Like, their offense, it's not coherent. It's not competent right now. Luckily, they play Miami, who gives up points like it's their job, but they're not going to give up that many, and they're probably gonna pick off Mike White at least 2 more times because, like I said yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, guys, he's not really any better than Zach Wilson. All right, moving on to the next game, we got Carolina at the Saints, and I'm going to take Carolina to win this game 27-20. Look, the Saints have actually been playing really good ball. I think they've won their last 3 games, and Carolina's been playing the best football of their season as well. Thing about it is I'm pretty sure both of these teams have been eliminated from playoff contention, and I think on a broader scale of things, the Panthers have actually looked better in recent weeks, and I like the Panthers. I like every aspect of the Panthers other than Sam Darnold, who I'm going to have to learn to like, by the way, because he has most certainly earned himself a shot next year. Saints aren't a bad team. They're not a terrible team. If I'm just a betting man making a pick here, though, I'm taking Carolina. Moving on, we got Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Now, I know I said a couple games ago I didn't really believe in fate, but hear me out. The Steelers will either win this game narrowly, 24-23, or they will tie, but they will not lose. Cleveland will not beat them, and not because it's the Browns. Nobody would beat them in this game. Because Mike Tomlin has never, ever ended his season with the losing record. And if he lost this week, then he would. So he can't. It's either a tie or they win. Not sure what all has to go right for them to make the playoffs. That's not why I have them winning this game. They're winning this game because of the Mike Tomlin curse. Well, it's not really a curse. It's more of a blessing at this point. It's fucking voodoo. It's black magic. Well, I shouldn't say that. That sounded racist. I'm not racist. You know what I'm trying to fucking say. I'm moving on. All right, next up, we got the Chargers at Denver, and I got the Chargers winning this game 2017, but I want them to be very conscious that this is not the same Broncos they faced earlier this year, which, by the way, they almost beat you too. You're playing a Broncos with an unleashed offense without Sackett. You're playing the Broncos with a really good defense, and most importantly, you're playing a team that has nothing to fucking lose, and that is the most dangerous team you can be facing right now. They're gonna play you hard, LA. They're gonna try and ruin any momentum you guys have going into the postseason. It's up to you guys to deflect that. I'm taking the Chargers, and I think this is going to be a really good game. All right, and moving on to the next game, we got Giants at Philly, and I was thinking about this, like, you know, Philly might rest, so the Giants might win, but then I thought more, and Philly can't rest. They can't. They have everything on the line right now. They got to protect. So I've narrowed it down to 2 possibilities. One, if Jalen Hurts plays, which he's trending towards, Philly is going to win, and they're going to win by a considerable margin. But 2, if Gardner plays, I think Philadelphia is still going to win, but it's going to be a much, much smaller margin. It's going to be really close, actually. Therefore, I don't really have a proper score to give you guys because we don't know exactly what's going on. But you gotta believe Philly, who has been on top of the league all year, can close out when it matters most, you know? They gotta win this game. If they lose, it's gonna be like almost like a Vikings-esque loss. Now, not as embarrassing, but their momentum's gonna be killed. All right, moving on to the next game, we got Arizona at San Francisco. Now, this will be fucking good. San Fran wins 46-7. Next. Moving on, we got the Rams at Seattle. Seattle wins 28-21. The The Rams are gonna play tough just because I think the team has been playing tough the last couple weeks. However, Seattle, they're fighting for a spot at the postseason, and Pete knows that, and Pete knows how to coach the best when the stakes matter the most. Unless it's, you know, the final 2 seconds in the red zone of the Super Bowl, whatever. Anyway, I'm not saying Sean doesn't know how to coach. Obviously he can. He got himself a ring last year. But Pete is more set up right now. The Seattle Seahawks are a much better team than the Rams. This is also in Seattle, which is one of the hardest places for an opponent to play. The Seahawks should win. But I do gotta say that I really hope I'm wrong with this pick, because I believe if Seattle makes it, the Lions no longer can. All right, next game we got is Dallas at Washington. And if you're wondering why I changed clothes, that's because there is about 3 hours between last pick and this pick. My computer blue screened and I had to reinstall everything. It was really cool. Anyway, Dallas at Washington. I'm gonna take Dallas because Washington can go right to hell. And honestly, I think the fans agree with me there. Like, I'm not mad at the fans. I'm not mad at the team. I'm mad at Ron and the front office. Go right to hell. Kiss my ass. I hope you guys never win a game again as long as Ron is your coach. And finally, moving on to Sunday night, it is Detroit at Green Bay, the game we've all been waiting for, the game I'm waiting for. Detroit will win this game 33-28. Now, like I said, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. I think Seattle has to lose. So if Seattle wins, then they're not going to be able to do it if my book is right. However, that's still a monumental win for Detroit. That would mean you guys swept the Packers. It would also mean you guys finish above 500 and you take second in the division. Now, if the Packers win this, I'm fairly certain they will make the playoffs, even if Seattle wins. I'm not certain on that scenario. However, I'm going to just assume that that's not going to happen because I think the almighty Lions will take down the Cheeseheads. You guys have worked so hard for this. You guys have been hearing all the chatter, all the talk. Now you can end this year with a bang, whether you go to the post or not. Please, please, please beat the Packers. All right, everyone, that is going to be it for my Week 18 NFL predictions, though. I'm going to hop off and get this edited because I got to go house hunting in about 35 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do to show support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I do my best to post on this channel every single day. All right, have a good one. As always, I will see you guys in the next video.